Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the national anthem. Thank you very much. Let's be seated. Your Excellency, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, represented here by the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, His Excellency, distinguished Senator George Akume. Let me welcome here the Honorable Minister of Industry, Trade, and Investment, Dr. Doris Kiruka Uzoka Anite. I'd like to welcome here the Honorable Ministers that are here. I can see very clearly the Honorable Minister for Women Affairs, the Honorable Minister for Arts, Culture, and the Creative Industry. Let me welcome very clearly the Director General of SMEDAN, Mr. Charles Odi, members of the National Assembly that are here, members of the Diplomatic Corps, our development partners, representatives of states that are here, heads of agencies and parastatals, our royal fathers, stakeholders in the MSME space, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is with pleasure that I welcome all of you, Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, to this National MSME Conference 2024. So on behalf of SMEDAN, powered by GIZ, German Cooperation, and the European Union, I welcome all of you to this conference that is driven by the Grow Nigerian concept, which means SMEDAN helping Nigerian SMEs grow fast and sustainably, providing them with guidance, resources, opportunities, and workforce support, realizing and knowing that SMEs are essential for rapid and sustained economic development. New data from 43 countries, representing about 3/4 of global GDP, show that the digital economy grew nearly 60% from 2016 to 2022 to reach $27 billion revenue. In Nigeria, it is projected to generate around $18.5 billion, the imperative that we are all here living in a gigabyte-infested economy. So we now know that the digital economy is a pillar that sustains our contemporary economic life. So it is my pleasure and honor to welcome all of you to this 2024 conference. My name is Ebere Young, and I will not be here alone. Sam Hart is all here with me, and together we'll pilot this event the next 3 days. But to welcome all of us today is a man that has worked so hard in the last few weeks. I understand around 2 a.m. this morning, he was in this hall organizing things. A visionary leader, a serial entrepreneur, empowering SMEs virtually all his life. He is driven by the desire to create meaningful change. Please join us. I welcome here the DG of SMEDAN, Mr. Charles Odi. They call him the COO.
Your Excellency, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, here represented by the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, His Excellency Senator George Akume, members of the National Assembly, my Honorable Minister for Industry, Trade and Investment, Dr. Doris Uzoka Anite, the Honorable Minister for Arts, Culture and Creative Economy, Honorable Hanatu Musawa, the Honorable Minister for Women Affairs, Barrister Uju Kennedy Ohaneye, representatives of other ministries, members of the diplomatic corps, heads of ministerial and non-ministerial departments and agencies, representatives from states, development partners and sponsors, ladies and gentlemen of the press, I say good morning. Good afternoon. It is my honor to welcome you to our National MSME Conference. My job here is just to let you know what we've done in the last 11 months and what you should expect from us for the next 3 days. Our National MSME Conference is the brainchild of our Honorable Minister, Honorable Doris Uzoka Anite, who thought it fit to bring together private sector, academia, government, and small business owners to a round table where we can foster conversations about doing businesses for our SMEs. Please, I think she deserves a resounding applause. Ladies and gentlemen, our data show that in the at our last count, we have approximately 40 million small and medium enterprises in Nigeria. SMEs account for 96% of all the businesses in Nigeria. So it means that the 4% are just maybe like the MTN, the Nestle, the Cadbury, but everybody else fall under the MSME bracket. And this ecosystem represents approximately 50% of Nigeria's GDP. So we need to gather together at least once every year to see what we've done in the last 1 year and to see what we can continue to do going forward. And that's what we expect to do in the next 3 days. After we get this conference flagged off, we'll be addressing topical issues. We spent the last 11 months going across the 36 states and the FCT, looking at the problems that are confronted by our small businesses. And so these problems I can categorize in one word, which is access. Access to markets, access to capacity development, access to finance, access to mentors, access to trainings. And what we're going to do at the end of this conference is democratize that access. And by the time we're done, we know that we'll leave here with a renewed vision, with a renewed hope, going into our nooks and crannies in Nigeria to continue to drive support for our SMEs. Ladies and gentlemen, we cannot do this alone. And so we are very grateful, and please, with a resounding applause, please let us thank, with a resounding applause, the German ambassador and the head of GIZ. Please, we can do better than that. Mr. Marcos, the ambassador, if you're here, please just stand up, please. Please, a round of applause for them. One of the problems that we've been confronted with, if you take 10 small businesses and put them in a room, 9 out of 10 of them will tell you that their biggest problem is access to finance. But very early this year, we were very close to declaring a state of an emergency in the MSME ecosystem. And guess what the problem was? It was not access to finance. The problem that we found is access to capacity development. We need to upskill our small businesses. Very recently, we had $500 million in a bank sitting somewhere for small businesses. Guess how many entrepreneurs were able to access that money? Anyone want to guess? Just about 12 entrepreneurs were able to access 600 million naira that we have earmarked to borrow to small businesses. So we began asking the problems, and we have some of our financial institutions here. we began asking the problem. If you ask all of them, they will tell you that there's money for small businesses. But the problem is that our small businesses are not equipped enough to access that funding. So what happened? Our partners at GIZ sprung into action. They came to us, they developed a phenomenal curriculum called ICSS, Inspire, Create, Start, and Scale, that we are now democratizing, and then we're driving and nationalizing to the nooks and crannies of every polling unit, every local government across Nigeria. I think they deserve a resounding applause. But also, His Excellency the President has thought it fit that this MSME ecosystem, our enterprises in Nigeria, actually need a boost. And he earmarked the sum of 200 billion, 150 billion, 75 billion for large enterprises, another 75 billion for SMEs, and 50 billion as grants to our nano businesses. And for us as SMEDAN, our nano businesses are businesses that have less than 3 employees and are doing an annual turnover of less than 3 million. Your guess is as good as mine. Those are the mom and pop shops. The Honorable Minister for Women Affairs will tell you that those are our women. Those are the women in the market, the traders. Those are the people that we're trying to make sure that we give them financing. And His Excellency the President earmarked 50 billion naira. So if we look at that, it means that on a monthly basis, these nano businesses make approximately 250,000 naira. And His Excellency the President has earmarked an injection of capital of 15,000 naira to at least 1 million of them across the 36 states and the FCT. I think it deserves a resounding applause. So just so that we don't bore you, I was just going to give you, and by the end of this conference, we'll be launching this. We thought, how can we support our SMEs? Just go back to slides. So upon about 11 months in office, on the first day I met with the Honorable Minister, and she said to me, Charles, our strategy for the MSME ecosystem has gone from one-to-one to one-to-many. Before now, if we meet an SME, we'll train them and we'll give them resources. But right now, what we're doing is that we're reaching our SMEs in clusters, and we're using technology so that the son of a nobody can become somebody without knowing anybody under this administration. So I want to ask you, as a small business owner, if you are here today, please join a cooperative, join us an association, because we will not be reaching out to you. If we miss out to reach out to you one-to-one, we'll reach out to your cooperative. We have a phenomenal program called the One Local Government, One Product, where we are going into the 774 local governments across Nigeria, reaching out to cooperatives, and we're giving them money at zero interest loans and grants. This money will be used for 3 things. 1, for these cooperatives to add to their working capital. 2, for them to add to buy work equipment. And 3, for them to add to buy, to procure workspaces. So I will ask you kindly, by the time we're done from here, kindly form a cooperative so that we can address your challenges head on. These are some of the challenges in the ecosystem. Inadequate financing, regulatory issues, limited infrastructure, high operating costs, etc. The list is endless. Next slide. So what we've done is our theory for change. And this is our theory for the ecosystem. It is called GROW. Please say GROW. It's called GROW. G stands for guidance, R stands for resources, O stands for opportunities, and W stands for workforce support. We believe that with the right guidance, the right resources, the right opportunities, and the right workforce support, any nano business can turn into a micro business, any micro business can turn into a small business, any small business can turn into a medium business, and a medium business can grow. Do we agree? So what we are doing, His Excellency the Vice President, Senator Kashim Shettima, launched the National Council of SMEs. So what that means is that all the guidance that our small businesses need, we give it to them. At the federal level, His Excellency the Vice President is the chairperson. At the different state levels, the different state governors are the chairpersons. So it means that today, if a small business in Nasarawa or Lagos State has a problem, the first point of call is the business member organization. If that problem cannot be solved, the small business can then escalate to SMEDAN. If the SMEDAN and the state cannot solve it, they take it to the state council. If the state council can't solve that problem, they take it to the governor of the state, who's the chairman of the state. If the governor cannot solve the problem, they bring it to us at the federal council. If we can't solve that problem, we take it to His Excellency the Vice President, who's the chairperson. If the Vice President cannot solve that problem, he takes it to His Excellency the President. If the President cannot solve that problem, we take it to God. But we believe that before it gets to the Vice President, your problem will be solved. So small businesses now have an advocate in Smedan under the Federal Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment. In terms of resources, we're providing financial and non-financial resources. I've just spoken about some non-financial resources and some financial resources that we're providing just to help to mitigate this financing options. Right now, we've signed an MOU with the Bank of Industry to the tune of ₦1 billion. We've signed an MOU with Sterling Bank to the tune of $5 billion. We've signed with Enugu State to the tune of $1 billion. We've signed with Anambra State to the tune of $1 billion. We've signed with Cross River State to the tune of $1 billion. And last but not the least, we signed with Katsina State. I think we deserve a resounding applause. So what we've done is we've earmarked another ₦10 billion for small businesses in these states to be able to access for business scale and expansion. We also have a lot of opportunities. You agree with me that a lot of people are doing different things for small businesses. GIZ is doing something, UK Aid is doing something, USAID is doing something, Airtel is doing something, MTN is doing something. What we're doing right now is we're collating everything to one repository so that small businesses can see all the opportunities that are available to them. I think that is something that is very remarkable. And the last but not the least, that is very dear to the Honorable Minister's heart, is our workforce support. Very soon we'll be launching our workforce support in the city of the FCT, where our small businesses will get all the workforce trainings that they need for themselves and their enterprises. Next slide, please. So GROW is our strategy for the MSME ecosystem. So GROW Nigeria will then metamorphose to the 8 priority sectors that we're looking at. We conducted with our partners MoneyPoint. We spoke to 2 million small businesses, and we found out the areas and the sectors that small businesses are starting businesses faster, and they happen to be in agriculture. So GROW Nigeria will then metamorphose to Eat Nigeria. Fashion, just very similar to the suit I'm wearing today. GROW Nigeria will metamorphose to Wear Nigeria. Visit Nigeria, which is tourism. Produce Nigeria, which is our light manufacturing. Teach and Learn Nigeria, which is education. Watch and Listen Nigeria, which is our Nollywood podcast. Patronize Nigeria, which is our service industry. And Digitize Innovate Nigeria. These are the top sectors that small businesses are starting businesses at the faster rate than anyone. And so what we're going to do is we're going to provide the right guidance, the right resources, the right opportunities, and the right workforce support to support all the businesses that are currently existing here, those that want to scale and those that want to expand. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to use this opportunity to welcome you all for this 3-day event. We are going to be having a pitch competition where small businesses will leave with the tune of ₦10 million. I think we deserve a resounding applause for that. That is not a loan, that's a grant. We are also going to be having deal rooms where some investors will close some investment with our small businesses. We are going to be having breakout sessions. We are going to be taking advantage of some of the AGOA contracts, AFCFTA, ETIP, ETLL in this conference. There's an exhibition center that's going to be flagged off shortly. And when we have exhibitors outside, please patronize them under Patronize Nigeria. And last but not the least is the networking and the opportunities that we'll make out of here. I believe that by the time we're done, by Saturday, we would have unlocked and begun the revolutionizing of small businesses in Nigeria. I want to wish us all a happy celebration, and I want to thank you for coming. Thank you.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the Director General of the Small and Medium Enterprises Development Agency of Nigeria, Mr. Charles Odi. Let's put our hands together for him one more time, please. Mr. Ebere Young was telling me as we were seated there, as Mr. Odi was talking, he said he's so passionate, he's so visionary. And please, you will agree with me that indeed the DG Smedan is very passionate about the work he is doing. You can tell that he has the zeal, he has the experience, he has the passion, and indeed, he knows what he is doing. We thank Mr. President for this appointment. We thank the Honorable Minister for Industry, Trade and Investment for all the support the DG said you have been giving him to achieve his mandate. We thank the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Senator George Akume, for being a father to the DG, and indeed all the support staff and the team of the DG, because indeed, if we continue to give him support with all the things he has outlined here, the sky will be the starting point for micro, small, and medium enterprises in Nigeria. Once again, let's put our hands together for our Director General, Mr. Charles Odi. Our special guest of honor, SGF Sir, kindly permit me to acknowledge the presence of the Deputy Governor of Bauchi State in our midst, His Excellency Mohammed Awal Jafaru. Your Excellency, you're very welcome, and we're glad to have you here with us. At this point, while we also acknowledge Mr. Wale Smart Oyerinde of the Nigerian Employers Consultative Association, thank you. We move straight into the goodwill messages. We know that we are pressed for time. We started behind schedule. We apologize to all our guests who came in real early and have had to wait for us to begin. We thank you for waiting. But if you look at the program of schedule, the 3 days that we have here are power-packed, value-packed. We have events and side events that are of interest to a wide range of people. I would like to assure all our delegates that they will get value for attending this event. At this point, we would like to take our goodwill messages. I would like to plead with everyone who is coming to speak to please stand on the already established protocol, because all the protocols have been established. That will also help us save some time. And then you have 2 minutes. Every of our goodwill messages have 2 minutes to convey their message. Please join me as we make welcome Ms. Varsha Redka Palepu, Deputy Resident Representative of the United Nations Development Program here in Nigeria for her goodwill. Let's put our hands together for her. They are the key sponsors of this event we are having here today. Ms. Varsha Redka Palepu, Deputy Resident Representative, UNDP. Thank you very much, ma'am. Yes.
Excellency, Senator George Akume, Secretary to the Government of the Federation, the Honorable Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Honorable Minister of Art, Culture, Creative Economy, Honorable Minister of Women's Affairs, Deputy Governor, Ambassadors of Germany, the EU, DG Smedan, private sector executives, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, all protocols observed. Good morning. My name is Varsha Redkar. I am the UNDP Deputy Resident Representative. It's an honor for me to be here at a time when the conversation around Nigeria's future economy has never been more important. We've all heard the statistics, and we've just heard from DG Smedan, the figures that tell us how many small businesses contribute to GDP. But I want to move away for a moment from the numbers. Today, we're here not just to talk about the numbers, but we're here to talk about real people behind those numbers. We're talking about the innovators, the risk takers, the entrepreneurs who are transforming the landscape of Nigerian businesses, one bold idea at a time. The theme of this conference, Grow Nigerian, Sustaining a Digital and Innovation-Driven Economy, speaks directly to this transformation. It's about positioning Nigeria not just to keep up with global trends, but to set the pace. This isn't an abstract goal. We're already seeing how digital innovation is reshaping industries, allowing businesses to leapfrog traditional barriers that once seemed insurmountable. Let's talk a bit about the barriers. If you own a business, you know them well. We all know them well. access to finance is a familiar challenge. But it's more than that. It's access to markets, it's reliable infrastructure, it's the right skills, and sometimes simply the right network. These are everyday realities that businesses face and can feel overwhelming. But here's the exciting part. We now have the tools that can break down many of these barriers, tools that weren't available even 5 years ago. Digital platforms are connecting entrepreneurs to global markets in ways we can only dream of before. Mobile banking, fintech are transforming access to finance for businesses in rural areas that were out of reach. AI, automation, data-driven technologies are changing how companies, even small ones, I like the nano companies that we just heard about, operate and compete. To crown it all, the Africa Continental Free Trade Area, connecting African businesses more than ever before with the promise to create market opportunities beyond borders. For Nigeria, this is a game changer. But to take full advantage of this, we need more than just technology. Innovation isn't just about having the latest gadgets or software, as we all know. It's about how we think and approach problems. It's about collaboration. That's why conferences like this one are so critical. They provide the space for us to exchange ideas, to learn from one another, and to form partnerships that will turn potential into action. I want to underscore that this isn't just about surviving disruption, it's about leveraging disruption. Many of the businesses we're celebrating today weren't created just to survive. They were built to thrive in unpredictable environments. These businesses are not just part of the Nigerian economy, they're the future that can compete anywhere in the world. So I'm so excited about these conversations we're going to have today. And I'm even more excited about the actions that will follow. Together, we can build a Nigeria where businesses don't just survive, but thrive in a digital, innovation-driven economy. So I'm a bit about myself. I'm really honored to be here today because today marks exactly 1 month since I arrived in this great country, the giant of Africa. Thank you so much for the welcome. And I was really honored, and it was really exactly this. This is actually an important day for me because it's my first speaking engagement in this great country. Thank you, at this auspicious State House. And it was exactly this conference and the drive and innovation and resilience of the private sector and small businesses that drove me and gave me the great honor of being appointed here as the UNDP Deputy Resident Representative in Nigeria. So as DG Smedon was saying, wish me luck as we wish all of the young small to medium enterprises across this great nation luck. And over the course of this important conference, I think all the small businesses, as I conclude, as DG Smedon said, deserve a resounding applause. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you very much. You know, my colleague gave you 2 minutes. You did 4, but I will forgive you. So can we put our hands together for our ladies and gentlemen? Thank you to UNDP for what you are doing in the MSME space. But let me particularly thank the German Cooperation and GIZ and European Union for sponsoring and powering this event. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, a wise man once said that if you want to take care of the future, take care of MSME. And I'm very sure the EU head of cooperation in Nigeria, and ECOWAS, totally agrees with that. As I welcome here, Massimo Di Luca. Did I get that right? Did I? Please step forward here and come and talk to us. Thank you very much. Thank you. Look, I can see you have only 1 sheet of paper. You consume it in 2 minutes. You're welcome.
I will try to be as brief as possible, but hopefully also meaningful. Thank you for having me. I am not Massimo De Luca. So today in front of you, I'm Inga Stefanovic, Head of Green and Digital Economy at the EU delegation to Nigeria and ECOWAS. And this is my real pleasure and honor to be standing in front of such a distinguished audience. And especially for this occasion, and thank you for the Minister of Trade, Industry and Investment for championing this idea, and thank you DG Audi for your excellent cooperation ever since we first met. I think the first thing when you entered your office, and we started working well together since. Maybe, I would like to just say a few things about that good cooperation we had, the engagement we had with SMEDAN already. We've started with that fantastic project on women access to finance, and I understand the Minister of Women Affairs is in the room and will appreciate that intervention as one of the obstacles, as you also mentioned, for women entrepreneurship is access to finance. But access to finance, and there's still something behind, as you say, the capacity. And I understand that that work that we've done together, that we supported you with, also helped identify some of those obstacle challenges of why women entrepreneurs find it difficult to access financial services. And a spin-off of that, I think, is also an attempt to see how in designing programs and laws and policies, how to integrate those concerns in the future work. Again, now, only just this September, we are now starting a new project with SMEDAN, and now supporting SMEDAN in building up the organization's own capacities in advocacy and public-private dialogue. Also, having that women angle in particular in view. This work is being continued as we go ahead. I'd like to also mention our work on digital. Under the Digital Transformation Center, the work that is funded by the EU, co-funded by Germany, and implemented by GIZ, where we are championing across Nigeria this fantastic project. And I think the first, let me check, Abuja, Abia, Rivers, Lagos, Kano, are the first localizations where this digitalization service points are going to be established for SMEs to bridge that digital divide and to give them a better access to digital services, digital tools, training, consulting services, etc. And we are even sending or helping send some staff of SMEDAN to some European countries to also see how it's done on the ground and learn from other countries' experiences. Well, I shouldn't be talking too long. I want to say that it's not only that cooperation that we have directly working with SMEDAN, but it's also everything that we do as the European Union in terms of economic development and growth in Nigeria, be it in the agricultural sector, ICT, digital, renewable energy, some of them were mentioned here. The work of SMEDAN is critical. The work with SMEs is critical for every other work that we do. SMEs being, and I think that's been already mentioned a few times, the engine of the economy. So that relationship that we've established is very important for us, important for all our work when it comes to green and digital economy partnership that we have with Nigeria, and we are looking forward to continuing on that note. And thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Maya.
Was I good?
Yes, you did good. You had 1 page in your hand and 4 pages in your head. So, yeah, you did very well. We'll work with it. Thank you. Thank you very much. That was from the head of Cooperation Nigeria and ECOWAS at the European Union. as we make progress, please, ladies and gentlemen, Your Excellencies, join me as we make welcome Annette Gunther, German Ambassador to Nigeria and ECOWAS. Your Excellency, you're very welcome. Thank you. I love your dress, ma'am. You're welcome.
Good morning, Your Excellency, Senator George Akume, participants, partners, guests, friends, all protocols observed. But beyond that, I would like to appreciate the presence of our ministers here because they are all women, and this is very remarkable. It is remarkable because they will make sure that the role of women and the role of women in this Grow Nigerian movement will be supported, that women will be at the forefront, that they will get the support they need and the conditions to participate in this development. Also, on a personal note, it is my great pleasure to be here today as Ambassador of Germany because I'm here today on our National Day. And this is a very special day for my country. The 3rd of October is the Day of German Unity. Today we celebrate Germany's transformation into one nation, but also into one economy, which started 34 years ago. And why am I saying this? Micro, small, and medium enterprises have played and continue to play a significant role in this transformation of my country. Similar to Nigeria, MSMEs are the backbone of Germany's economy. Most of the GDP, most of the jobs, most of the innovation are generated by SMEs in Germany as well. So their importance in Nigeria is very much reflected in the agenda of this conference. Industry leaders, government officials, small business leaders, operators of small business, people interested in starting businesses, they all will discuss the strategies for SME growth. The focus will be on using innovation, including digital innovation, to increase competitiveness and resilience in Nigerian businesses, promoting economic growth and job creation. In short, we are championing the future of Nigerian MSMEs at this conference. The significance of this conference underscores the importance of collaboration, innovation, proactive measures in addressing employment challenges and fostering sustainable economic development. Not only panels and speeches are part of this event, a number of side events, they were mentioned before, networking opportunities will mark this event and will be very beneficial to the participants, I'm very sure. Germany is actively supporting this conference through our development agency, GIZ, who was already mentioned before, and who is doing a very good job, and I'm very proud of them. As part of Germany's development cooperation, we are supporting the government of Nigeria in improving the economic, social, and ecological frameworks, thereby creating opportunities and prospects and improving the living conditions for Nigerians. The specific area of business support of our cooperation through its various interventions is cooperating with both public and private partners at national and subnational level, fostering innovation and integrating digital transformation and green solutions, improving market access and enhancing overall business performance. Germany, I can assure you, remains committed to be your partner in all these endeavors. Nigeria is one of the most important partners of Germany on the African continent, and we have a long-term and fruitful collaboration. So another anniversary. This year we celebrate 50 years of German-Nigerian cooperation, and we are proud of what we have achieved jointly with our Nigerian partners. Thank you. Once again, my congratulations to the government and in particular to Sweden for organizing this impactful conference. We look forward to the fruitful discussions and innovative solutions that I'm sure will emerge from this gathering. Thank you very much.
You know, as you watch her step down, what do you see? German efficiency. Let's put our hands together for her, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. Thank you. And so, Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome here the Chairman, Global Entrepreneurship Network, Mr. Jonathan Othman, to please step forward here. Mr. Jonathan Othman, is that you? Okay, I'm inviting you here, please. Okay, you don't have a paper, so you'll be doing less than 2 minutes. We welcome you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so very much indeed. It's wonderful to be here. I really want to join, first of all protocol observed, but once again, thanking all of the ministers present, all the distinguished leaders and guests from the international community, but also to pay a special thanks to SMEDAM DG, to Charles. I want to very much appreciate your invitation to be here and to come on behalf of the Global Entrepreneurship Network, which operates in 200 countries, enabling entrepreneurs, both in terms of policies and programs, to express our global interest in the future of Nigeria. And this GROW agenda has struck the right chords in identifying specific challenges. But as we move forward, I really want to stress the importance of what we see from outside of Nigeria in Nigerians. We have the great privilege of working in innovation ecosystems in most countries, but one thing we uniquely see in Nigeria is energy. We see an extraordinary amount of action. You know, they often said when they first started to produce reports about entrepreneurialism around the world, many of which we publish, people would learn and see that Nigerians were sometimes described as the most entrepreneurial people on earth. And I think from our perspective, this turns the challenge of an ever-increasing population to a great opportunity, not to a problem. We see in the entrepreneurship world an opportunity of energy, enthusiasm, willingness to learn, talent, and we see that as deal flow. We see that as an opportunity to build and grow the industries of the future quickly. Because in many of the economies we work with, that's actually the challenge they've got. They've not got that natural entrepreneurial spirit. They don't have that volume of energy to work with. And so we're extremely delighted to be working with the government of Nigeria, and Gen Nigeria is here in Nigeria, but we are extremely excited to be working to discuss bringing the global community to this task and joining the likes of UNDP and many of the representatives here who are also supporting this mission. But let me also mention, it's not just about the economy. I think it's very important for us to remember what entrepreneurs really do. We, of course, know that they generate jobs. Generally speaking, entrepreneurs create most of the net new jobs in our economies. But they also do something much more important. It's not just something of narrow commercial significance. They represent the possibility of human endeavor for the benefit of all. And as an organization focused on the global entrepreneurial ecosystem, we see what innovation sees, which is national boundaries are porous. We see opportunities for Nigerians to work across the globe with other ecosystems, with others that are suffering and experiencing the same challenges in enabling their entrepreneurs to fulfill this mission of being able to figure out how to find a better way of doing something, to dream, take a risk, and to certainly be the ones that lead their communities in a much bolder way. As someone said earlier, it's not about keeping up the pace. I was invited to participate on a panel here, and the subtitle said, "How do we keep pace?" I completely agree. This is how does Nigeria lead in the world, and how do we ensure that that energy and confidence that is so prevalent here is put, channeled, and energized into the direction of forming new companies that not just generate jobs, but of course solve some of our world's biggest problems. Very quickly, thank you so much indeed for having us. Jen, of course, we're very proud of all the work we do across Africa. We run the largest startup campus in Johannesburg. In November, we'll be opening our third startup campus in Africa in Cape Town. We, of course, though, are especially pleased at the opportunity to be working here in Nigeria, and I want to thank our board who are here and our team from Gen Nigeria and express our commitment to make sure that we're there by your side, sharing not just the knowledge that we bring being a US-based organization, but sharing the knowledge we bring, the collective knowledge of nearly 200 economies around the world. So thank you so much indeed for the opportunity to be here, and we very much look forward to this exciting new journey under the GROW agenda. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Othman. Ebere, that teaches you not to celebrate when you do not see people holding a paper, because they might just reach into their pocket and be pulling out all kinds of things. So we will still try and maintain the 2 minutes time allotted to each speaker, believing that our speakers will help us. Moving real quick, we would like to invite our next speaker, who has spent the better part of 3 decades devoting his life to enriching entrepreneurship in Africa and the world. A former chairman of UBA Bank, a former chairman of Etisalat Communications, and currently the chairman of Metis Capital Partners. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, join me as I welcome a member of the Harvard Global Advisory, Mr. Hakeem Bello Osagie, as he comes forth for his goodwill message. Mr. Kim, sir. He doesn't have a paper, so we're good.
If I may acknowledge and thank Charles in particular for his dynamic leadership. And if I may thank him for inviting a 69-year-old man like myself, who started life as a small-scale businessman and who stopped being a small-scale businessman 20 years ago, who then became a large-scale businessman and who today teaches at Harvard Business School, and I want to thank you for the invitation. I'd like to tell you that at Harvard Business School for decades, we have seen our mission as training the CEOs and the leaders of the top 500 companies in the world. That has changed. And we now see our mission as training both the leaders of the top 500 companies, but also of training the leaders of the 500,000 small-scale and medium-scale enterprises who we believe supply the bulk of the jobs in the United States, in China, in Nigeria, in South Africa, and around the world. So the message is home to everybody. Good morning. It is my distinct pleasure to stand before you today at the National MSME Conference 2024. As I look around this room, I see more than just faces. I see the heartbeat of the Nigerian economy. I see dreamers. I see doers. I see builders. I see myself 30 to 40 years ago. I see individuals who, despite the odds, rise every morning with an unwavering determination to contribute to Nigeria's future. Just last week, I was having coffee in the United States, and a young man, noticing my contemplative mood, asked me what I was thinking about. I told him that I was preparing a speech for this very conference. Do you know what he said? They said to me, tell them that the young people of Africa and the young people of Nigeria are ready. Tell them we're not waiting for the future. We have come to business school to learn to build the future. That, my friends, is the spirit of the African and of the Nigerian entrepreneur. And that is what I want to speak about today, creating exponential institutions. Institutions that don't merely survive change, but enjoy it and thrive on it. Let's begin with a sobering reality. The pace of market transformation today is unprecedented. The World Economic Forum estimates that 65% of children entering primary school today will work in jobs that today do not yet exist. Let that sink in for a moment. My children will work in artificially intelligent jobs on Web3 platforms, while I am impressed when they upgraded me from DSTV to DSTV with Netflix. That is exponential change. And it's happening not just in Silicon Valley or Shanghai, but right here in Africa. And here is the million-naira question. Are we in Nigeria ready to create our own institutions that drive exponential change? Are we ready? Are we prepared to build institutions that don't just keep up with change, but drive it? For small businesses to thrive, the government must be a partner and not a roadblock. And I say that having been a government official myself for 6 years. And let me share a story that unfortunately is all too common. Last month, I met a brilliant young entrepreneur at a tech hub in Abuja. She had developed an innovative app for smallholder farmers. Her excitement was palpable as she described her vision, but then her face fell as she recounted her experience trying to register her business. Professor Bello Osage, she said, by the time I finished the paperwork, I had aged 5 years and had nearly forgotten my brilliant idea. Now, this is not a matter to be joked with. For MSMEs to create exponential institutions, we need regulatory systems that are not just streamlined, but more than that, supportive. Let's look at the facts again. These companies contribute nearly 50% of our GDP and employ over 80% of our workforce. Yet many of these businesses face significant hurdles: red tape, inconsistent policies, inadequate infrastructure. How can we expect our businesses to soar if their wings are clipped before they even leave the nests? The government's role is not to micromanage, but to empower. We need an enabling environment, one that fosters innovation, removes unnecessary barriers, and provides the resources that businesses need to scale. Can you imagine the innovation we could unlock if registering a business in Nigeria was as easy as sending a WhatsApp message? Now let's talk about some of the challenges that these companies face in Nigeria, and more important, let's focus on real solutions. Access to finance remains a significant obstacle. In a recent survey by PricewaterhouseCoopers, 85% of Nigeria's SMEs cited inadequate funding as a primary challenge, but solutions exist and they're right at our fingertips. Fintech companies like Paystack and Flutterwave have revolutionized financial access using technology to offer low-cost financial solutions. The government should partner with these fintech innovators to expand funding channels, especially for rural entrepreneurs. Imagine a Nigeria where a brilliant idea and a solid business plan are all you need to secure funding, regardless of your social background or your connections. That's the Nigeria we should be building. Running a business without reliable power or internet is like trying to win a marathon with your shoelaces tied together. It's not just difficult, it's nearly impossible. Public-private partnerships are essential to address these infrastructure challenges, not only in urban areas, but across Nigeria. Let's learn from Rwanda. They have prioritized internet access in rural areas and created an inclusive digital economy. If Rwanda can do it, why can't we? I wish to challenge the government officials here today. Let's set a goal within the next 5 years. Let's ensure that no business in Nigeria fails due to lack of basic infrastructure. Are you with me on this? Our greatest asset is our youth. But talent without training is like a ship without a sail. We must invest in skills development, especially digital skills. The universities and initiatives like She Leads Africa have empowered young entrepreneurs with mentorship and training. We need to scale such efforts nationwide, and let's pay special attention to our female entrepreneurs. When we empower women, we empower entire communities. So, where do we go from here? The answer is simple, yet profound: collaboration. Neither the government nor small businesses can do it alone. We need partnerships that empower both sectors. Small businesses are the engines of our economy, but without government support, they cannot accelerate to their full potential. Let me ask the government officials here today, how many more businesses could succeed if we reduced the barriers to their success? How much more could our GDP grow if we unleashed the full potential of our entrepreneurs? And to all the young entrepreneurs in this room, how can you collaborate, not just to grow your individual businesses, but to create ecosystems that lift entire industries? As we look ahead, let's embrace the exponential possibilities before us. Nigeria has the talent, the resources, and the entrepreneurial spirit. What we need now are institutions, both in government and in business, that can scale alongside the challenges we face. Ladies and gentlemen, the future of Nigeria's economy rests on our ability to create institutions that don't just keep up with the market, but lead it. To the government representatives here, I challenge you to commit to reducing the time it takes to register a business by 50% within the next year. I hope you accept this challenge. To the entrepreneurs, I challenge you to form industry clusters, to collaborate as well as compete, to lift each other as you climb. Will you rise to this challenge? And to all of us today, I challenge us to dream bigger, to think exponentially. Let's not aim to be just a little bit better than we were yesterday. Let's aim to transform Nigeria into an economic powerhouse that the world cannot ignore. Together, we can build exponential institutions that will shape the future of Africa, starting with Nigeria. Let's commit ourselves to this path, fostering an environment where every small business, irrespective of the tribe, irrespective of the gender, or irrespective of the social income group or the religion of its founder, let them all not only survive, but thrive. The time for incremental change is over. The time for exponential growth is now. Let us together create the Nigeria of tomorrow. Thank you very much, and God bless.
He's a very humble man. Delivered with such calmness. Delivered with class. Thank you very much, Mr. Kimbele Osage. Wonderful, wonderful asset to Nigeria. Born here, but globally relevant. Let's put our hands together for him one more time. Thank you very much. Thank you. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to welcome here, as we begin to round off our goodwill messages, a seasoned financial analyst, corporate and investment banker with over 2 decades of experience spanning business advisory, financial control, investment banking, and capital market services. He's a Deputy Group Managing Director of UBA. I'd like to welcome here Mr. Muyiwa Akiyemi. Now, you are bringing a digital equipment. It should fasten the process. Thank you.
Good morning, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to start first by recognizing the SGF, Senator Akume, and I also want to recognize the Honorable Minister for Trade, Dr. Doris, as well as a special recognition for my colleague, Charles Odili, as well, for a wonderful event that you've been able to put together. May I also stand on existing protocols to recognize all the ministers here present and colleagues from the financial space and international organizations here, ambassadors, my deputy governor here is present as well, gentlemen of the press, and captains of industry. I'm representing my chairman, not doctor, Mr. Tony Elumelu, CFR, at today's event, and I was so glad when Professor Bello Osage also came in to speak. It was quite enriching. Thank you so much. I think it's the product of what UBA has to speak to. As a former chairman of United Bank for Africa as well. I bring you good wishes from Mr. Tony Elumelu, CFR, our chairman for United Bank for Africa, also the founder of Tony Elumelu Foundation, on whose behalf I'm addressing you today. We would have loved to be here, but due to unavoidable institutional commitments, he's unable to be here with you all. Mr. Elumelu deeply appreciates the opportunity to be able to speak to SMEs at the invite of the DG, Charles Odili, and his team for this conference. It's important that at a time like this, we drive equitable and inclusive interventions that will uplift our SME businesses and elevate the entrepreneurship that we see in this segment of our business, which is critical for creating the path to shared prosperity. Dr. Charles already mentioned the data earlier. There are about 40 million SMEs in Nigeria, accounting for over 80% employment and contributing over 50% of our GDP. And that underscores the critical role of entrepreneurship for these SMEs in the development of our nation. Mr. Elumelu says on a number of times he receives questions on entrepreneurship, and most especially from the young ones. And the topical ones are, why entrepreneurship? Why would he leave the safety net of banking to become an entrepreneur that he is today? And he often replies, after a while of reflection, that entrepreneurship has the potential to transform lives. In a country of over 200 million people, 60% of us are categorized as youth, of which I'm one of them. We need entrepreneurs, small business owners to create the millions of jobs that will provide for families, uplift our communities, and give our people a sense of hope. As he always says, that the future of Africa and of course Nigeria is in the hands of our youth. And they cannot make it great through entrepreneurship. His belief is very strong in entrepreneurship because he has witnessed it personally and through his work, not in business only, but in philanthropy. And he has seen the transformation it has brought across Africa. It was this belief that made him create the Tony Elumelu Foundation in 2010 with a laser focus on empowering African youth and entrepreneurs in addressing Africa's challenges. His belief, which we also believe in, that if we empower entrepreneurs, we create opportunities, we create wealth, and we drive impact across the continent. Just a few highlights of the impact Tony Elumelu Foundation has created over the past years that it's been set up. We have supported 20,000 young African men and women across the 54 countries in Africa. We have created 400,000 plus direct jobs, of direct and indirect jobs, and it's added, because we measure the impact on a year-on-year basis, over $1.2 billion into the African economy. That is the impact of one foundation. How about many more foundations that are focused or looking at how we can engage our youth in entrepreneurial activities? As I speak to Tony Elumelu Foundation, I would also like to speak to what we are doing in United Bank for Africa. And I'll just name a few of the interventions as well. UBA today is a critical stakeholder in the AFCFTA program. Last year, we signed a $6 billion intervention program with AFCFTA, of which $1 billion to $1.2 billion, which works out to approximately 1.8 trillion naira, of various forms of financing is available for SMEs in Nigeria. That is significant. That could transform our SME base. Because as I sat there and listened to Charles, he mentioned access to market, access to finance. Today, UBA is committing 2 trillion naira over the next 3 years to SME financing across Nigeria. Aside from this, I also like the point when my fellow speaker noticed that all the ministers were women. UBA today also supports the AFDB on the affirmative finance action for women across Africa. Women financing UBA obtains a lower grade in terms of financing costs as part of growing the SME business that are led by women as well. I would like to see a lot more of this happen as well across our jurisdiction in Nigeria, particularly and across the 20 African countries where we operate. We're also today a partner to the African Guarantee Fund and so many other entities as well that will help mitigate or de-risk the risks that we see with SME financing. And I welcome all of you to stand outside there to be able to share more highlights about what we can do to support our SME business. And I would like to refer to what Jack Ma said, that if we want to change the world, we must focus on the young people. Young people are the seeds of innovation. In Nigeria alone, over 500,000 graduates come out of school every year. We need to turn that workforce strategically, all right, into entrepreneurs. If you don't do that, it's going to be challenging for us to grow our country. Entrepreneurship, we know, cannot thrive in an environment that does not support it. And as we study all developing economies, they are largely fueled by SMEs. The growth and the development of all development economies are through SMEs. And that is what Mr. Elumelu pronounced as Afrocapitalism, that a partnership between the private and the public sector, one enabling ideas on one hand and the other creating the right environment for those ideas to thrive. We need to remove barriers that stand in the way of this potential. We need to leverage untapped energy and a reservoir of positive development that our youth have and the SMEs have. Nigeria is blessed with boundless entrepreneurial potential. We have seen this in the entertainment industry, in the arts industry, and the culture industry. We have seen this in the technology industry with the likes of Flutterwave and all the rest that we see doing great things globally. And the vibrancy of our small business, when they come together in a garden like this, I can only imagine what we can do and how we can unlock the ingenuity and the resourcefulness to drive economic growth. And that's why we must acknowledge the efforts of Smeden, Charles, and his team in developing the small and medium enterprise in our country. Some of the things he's done, the cluster support scheme, the product marketing scheme, and now GROW, are quite commendable and praiseworthy of the enterprise. At Tony Elumelu Foundation, we're very glad to be a partner to Smeden. At UBA, we're also very glad, even though you didn't mention it, of our MOU and partnership we signed with you as well. I believe that discussions over the next couple of days will help foster some of this and focus on positive results. In conclusion, I would like to highlight 3 action points that I would like to see. 1, how do we integrate entrepreneurship with technology, which I think falls with a theme, into our academic curriculums, from the primary schools to our secondary schools? So gone are the days where we teach the normal subjects. We should start teaching entrepreneurial skills and entrepreneurship in our primary and secondary schools, and not only at the tertiary institutions. We should also, secondly, adopt a case-by-case approach in empowering the nano and micro, small and medium enterprise across Nigeria, ensuring that we have an inclusive approach for our women and our youth in these plans. And thirdly, we would like to see a firm handshake between the private and the public sector to drive the change that we want to see on this continent. We need incentives. He's mentioned quite a number of them, but we need more than that, incentives. I mean, Prof mentioned as well the access to registration of business registration for SMEs as well. And we believe that through the capacity building, the innovation and the friendly policies, we can create a thriving ecosystem for SMEs. I'd like to commend on behalf of Mr. Tony Elumelu all the SMEs here present and distinguished ladies and gentlemen here, and wish you all a fruitful celebration. God bless you all, and God bless Nigeria. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, sir. Deputy Managing Director, United Bank for Africa. Our last goodwill message will be from the Honorable Minister for Arts, Culture and Creative Economy. But before then, I was just getting her ready. We'll just take Mr. Tunde Mabawonku, Executive Director, Wema Bank, one of our sponsors. Please, let's do advert, let's pay bill. One of our sponsors, Mr. Tunde Mabawonku of Wema Bank PLC, to please step forward. And it doesn't have paper, it doesn't have phone. This is 1 minute, I'm very sure. Thank you so very much. After which you take the Honorable Minister. Thank you.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. All protocols duly observed. No speeches, no scripted speech, and I don't think I have the eloquence of some of the speakers. But permit me to tell a story for 1 or 2 minutes. And it's the story of one young intern that went to work. I think the story then was about going to work at General Electric. And he got in, his father gave him a small cubicle, that this is where you're going to work today. As the conveyor belt is going around, pick your machine, put it on your cubicle, fix the machine, and put it back on the conveyor belt. And the guy got to work, you carry the machine, put it on the cubicle, finish, put it back, take the next one. The next morning, the guy went to work with some small soap and buckets to clean his cubicle. And the guy on the left and right said, "Why are you cleaning your cubicle?" He said, "Sorry, it's looking dirty. I can't stand here and do this." The next day, he continued cleaning his own small corner. Then the foreman, the supervisor, came into the office or into the showroom and said, "Young man, I like your corner. It's looking really neat. Keep it up. So what happened? The next day, the guy on the left brought his soap and sponge and started cleaning his cubicle. The person on the right also brought his own. And slowly and gradually, almost all over the factory floor, everybody took it as second nature. Coming to work in the morning, clean your cubicle, and get to work. So what I'm doing today is really talking to all of us. There are 1,000, 2,000 of us here today. Let's create a small place. Nobody is small enough to make this change regarding Grow Nigeria, regarding supporting MSMEs. So my charge and appeal is everybody, let's put our hands together, let's support SMIDAN, let's support Nigeria, and let's grow Nigeria. Thank you very much.
You know, when I heard the shout from the young ones in the audience, it brings back a Luther Continua. Mr. Tunde Mabamoku Eniku. Congratulations to you. Thank you very much. And so, Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, our final goodwill message is coming from a woman that understands that the ministry she is sitting upon actually is the playground of young people. The creative industry in Nigeria has close to 4.3 million young people across media, entertainment, beauty, lifestyle, visual arts, tourism, and hospitality. So she understands that MSME is key to our ministry. So join me as I welcome here Ms. Hannatu Musawa, lawyer, politician, author, Honorable Minister for Art, Culture, and Creative Economy. I welcome you. They should add to the ministry art, culture, creative economy, and beauty.
Good morning, everyone. So I know I've been asked to limit my speech to 2 minutes, but I'm kind of hoping that I'll leverage on my executive privilege and have at least 2.5 minutes. So protocol was established earlier on. I would really like to stand on it, but I would not do myself justice if I did not recognize the SGF of Nigeria, Dr. Akume, who not only is the engine room of a very forward-looking administration, but has also become a father, a mentor, and a leader, and my boss. And I also want to recognize, as she knows, a lady who is more beautiful on the inside as she is on the outside, if that is possible. A woman who has become my friend, my sister, my partner in crime, but that was a secret up until now. Dr. Doris, who is also the Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, and I've told her before that I think one of the calls that Mr. President made in nominating her as the Minister of Trade and Investment was one of the best that he did. She is a round peg in a round hole, unless she wants to be a square peg in a square hole. I also want to recognize the German ambassador to Nigeria at ECOWAS, who recognize the power of women. And I'd like to say to you today, Guten Tag. And also my governor of Katsina State, Dr. Dukorata, who was the former DG of SMEDAN, ably represented by my sister, Aisha Aminu, who's also the DG of Katsina State Enterprise Agency. Last but not least, a national treasure, Dr. Hakim Bello Osagi, and also Mr. Muyiwa. Sorry, I kind of massacred your name, right? Dr. Muyiwa Akinyemi, Group Deputy Managing Director of UBA, but for everyone, I just want to stand on that existing protocol. It is both with an absolute privilege and a profound honor I stand before you today as we gather for the 2024 National MSME Conference. As we gather here today, we recognize the immense potential of our nation's MSMEs to drive economic growth and development. As you would know, this government is very big on driving that growth. As the Minister of Art, Culture and Creative Economy, my team and I have dedicated ourselves to the noble task of harnessing the immense potential of our creative industries. We believe that the creative industry possesses the power to transcend boundaries, to foster understanding, unity, to build bridges within our nation. MSMEs are the backbone of our economy, providing employment opportunities, fostering innovation, and contributing significantly to the growth of our GDP. The 8 critical sectors that have been highlighted today at this conference really do represent the diverse and vibrant landscape of our MSME ecosystem. While the potential of I kind of struggle with that word as well, Ambassador. While the potential of MSMEs is undeniable, we must also acknowledge the challenges they face. This includes limited access to finance, inadequate infrastructure, and a lack of skilled workforce. And this is something that I grapple with on a daily basis, trying to build a fortified ecosystem for the cultural and creative landscape. However, these same challenges also present a great opportunity for growth and a huge humongous opportunity for development. So by addressing these core issues, through some strategic interventions and partnerships, we can create a huge and enabling environment for MSMEs to thrive. We play a crucial role in supporting the growth and development of MSMEs. Through the policies, regulations, and initiatives, the government can create a very conducive business environment. We can provide access to finance and promote entrepreneurship. By investing in education, in training, in infrastructure, capacity building, we can equip MSMEs with the tools and resources they need to succeed. As an administration, the presidency of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has shown its recognition of the importance and potential of these key sectors for improving the nation's economy through the creation of a specific ministry to cater for them, the Ministry of Art, Culture and the Creative Economy. As the minister of this great new ministry, I seek to exploit the opportunity presented to me by creating an enabling environment for the creation of at least 2 million jobs by 2027, and also contributing to the economic expansion, where we will be able to contribute at least $100 billion by 2030 to expand the GDP. I'm glad to use this opportunity to briefly also highlight the key achievements of my ministry and the sector to date through the careful and responsive implementation of the 8-point agenda of my ministry. The increased contribution of the cultural and creative sectors to national GDP by 0.7% from the 1.3% baseline to total of 2% of GDP share as at June 2024, and it has grown exponentially now. The ministry has also documented a total of 23,122 newly registered businesses, entities across the cultural and creative economy. This is a key statistic which highlights, firstly, the opportunities for employment and self-employment within our subsectors, but also the significantly underrated contribution of the MSMEs to our national economic, I'll get there by the end of this speech, to our national economic progress. A total of 7,446 persons have also been trained through various programs and initiatives driven by the agencies under the FM under my ministry and some of our partners, with more individuals set to be trained through our recently launched Creatively Acceleration Program, CLAP. CLAP is a very exciting and innovative digital platform that includes a learning management system, marketplace, and funding platforms for creatives across the country to access highest quality of resources for the building of their capacity and for the further enablement of their individual jobs and individual pursuits, so to speak. National intellectual property policy and strategy, what is really key and the bane of my ministry, it is being developed as I speak to you now, excitingly, in collaboration with the Federal Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment. And I really want to thank my sister because she was the driving force of this initiative and is working together with me and the Ministry of Justice to ensure that we deliver a strategic and strong fortified IP policy to Nigeria within the next 2 weeks. And we're also working with the World Intellectual Property Organization and other key stakeholders of within the IP space. This policy will put in place strategies geared towards the maximization of the monetization potentials of the creative industries for the creators and their mostly micro, small, and medium-scale enterprises. It is important for me here to say that the future of Nigeria's economy is linked to the success of our MSMEs, and MSMEs are the lifeblood of any thriving economy, and we recognize that. By embracing digital innovation, addressing challenges, and fostering a supportive environment, we can unlock the immense potential of our MSMEs and drive sustainable economic growth. I really want to thank you, and at this point, I really want to thank my little brother, Mr. Charles, who has done an extremely fantastic job in the very short time that he has been the DG of Smeden. And I really look forward to seeing the trajectory of your growth, of your career, to see where you will really open up the potential and the possibilities for Nigerian small-scale businesses, specifically of a younger demographic, and how it will impact the cultural and creative industry as well. Let us commit to working together to build a Nigeria where entrepreneurship thrives, innovation flourishes, and our nation's prosperity is assured. I firmly believe that by working together, by putting our resources together, by putting our expertise together, we can achieve remarkable outcomes that can benefit not only our nation, but the world at large. I'm really looking forward to the future of Nigeria as we go onward and upward. I thank you for your kind attention and for your patience for my 2.5 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister for Arts, Culture and the Creative Economy, Ms. Hannatu Musawa. You will forgive me for not standing up to hustle her off the stage. She's an honorable minister and she's very captivating. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, at this point, we are going to invite an accomplished professional, a medical doctor by training who switched over to banking and became a chartered financial analyst. She has over 20 years of experience in the banking industry, rising to the position of treasurer of one of the top-tier banks in Nigeria, after which she joined public service by serving as commissioner and coordinator of the economy in one of the states in the southeast, from where her meteoric rise continued to the Federal Executive Council. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the supervising minister of the agency that invited us today, the amiable, the delectable, the professional, the beautiful Dr. Doris Uzoka Anite, the Honorable Minister for Industry, Trade and Investment, as it gives us our opening speech. Honorable Minister, ma'am.
Thank you. I hope no time, no 2 minutes.
You're the Honorable Minister.
Thank you very much. And I don't know how I take the stage after my sister has spoken. I only wish I'm as eloquent as she is. You know, she's a poet, and then there's this musical tone that she brings. So please pardon me if I don't meet up to her expectation, to the expectation and to her standards. Please, I would like to recognize the presence of His Excellency Dr. George Akume, the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, I must recognize because he's been an inspiration to all of us and a strong pillar of support to all of us, the cabinet members of this administration. He's here representing His Excellency, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Thank you for coming. I also want to recognize my sister, and she's everything that she said I am, actually much more. And you can see how beautiful and eloquent and brilliant and intelligent that she is. Thank you, my sister, Anatu Musawa. And of course, my other sister who is not here, but in absentia, I also recognize the Minister of Women Affairs. The honorable members who are present here of the National Assembly, thank you for coming. I want to recognize the presence of the state governors and the representatives, the ambassador, the German ambassador, Ms. Annette Gunter. Thank you so much for all your support, along with the GIZ and the EU, the development partners, development finance institutions, presidents and chairmen of various organizations who are present, captains of industries, especially the former chairman of UBA, Hakim Bello Osage, the deputy managing director of UBA, and the representative from Wema Bank, and everybody who is here. The distinguished ladies and gentlemen, your presence here is a testament to not only your commitment to the growth of SMEs, but to the growth of Nigeria. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen, I thank you all for coming, and it's actually our honor, great honor here to welcome you to this MSME conference themed Grow Nigerian, Sustaining a Digital and Innovation-Driven Economy. This is a topic that's of immense potential and importance to the future of not just this great country, but to the future of the populace, especially the youth. We're standing today at crossroads of a transformative era in Nigeria under the leadership of the visionary president, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, where technology and innovation are not just driving economic growth, but also reshaping the very fabric of our society. In today's interconnected world, digital technologies are creating unparalleled opportunities for nations, businesses, and individuals alike. The fourth industrial revolution, characterized by artificial intelligence, machine learning, big data, and the Internet of Things, is pushing the boundaries of what we can achieve. The topic, sustaining digital and innovation-driven economy, cannot be or cannot come at a better timing. Nigerian MSMEs must therefore take advantage of these technological developments, either as users of technology or as innovators. Whichever category you belong, Nigerian MSMEs can compete globally and rapidly grow our economy by leveraging technology. As you may all be aware, MSMEs play a critical role in shaping our nation's economic landscape. They account for more than 90% of all registered businesses in Nigeria, currently contributing more than 50% to the GDP, and there are also many more in the informal sector who are not yet registered. So even what we count is a lot more in number. I just mentioned percentages. We are projecting that within the informal sector, we have more than 40 million businesses. In both formal and informal sectors, MSMEs are responsible for creating more than 70% of jobs in the private sector. This illustrates not just their importance, but also the potential that they hold for driving innovation, creating employment opportunities, and fostering economic resilience. This is why we believe that MSMEs are the key to helping us achieve the 1 trillion economy as envisioned by His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Digital transformation can help MSMEs reach new heights through increased productivity. Technologies can help MSMEs to automate their tasks, improve efficiency, and reduce costs. A study by NASCOM of India found that MSMEs that adopt digital technologies can increase their productivities by up to 20%. Digital technologies can enhance sales and marketing, helping MSMEs reach new customers, generate new sales leads, close deals more efficiently. And this, by Google, a study found that MSMEs that use online marketing can increase their sales by up to 15%. More importantly for MSMEs, digitization can also help them access finance more easily by providing lenders with access to their financial data and helping them create a credit history. Indeed, a study by the World Bank found that MSMEs that use digital financial services can increase their access to finance by up to 50%, thereby overcoming one of the biggest challenges faced by numerous MSMEs. I therefore encourage all of you MSMEs to embrace digitization, embrace technology, and as always, embrace innovation so that together we can grow Nigeria to greater heights than ever. For us as an administration, our commitment to supporting MSMEs is unwavering and resolute. We understand that small businesses are not just the heart of our economy. They are the engines of growth, innovation, and social change. It is therefore our responsibility as a government to provide an enabling environment where these businesses can thrive. The President Bola Ahmed Tinubu-led administration has put up supportive policies that create an enabling environment for MSMEs. I'll take my time to highlight a few of those just for the benefit of the audience. We launched and relaunched the PEBEC, the Presidential Enabling Business Environment Council, demonstrating our commitment to supporting and growing industries and businesses. Under this council, we are striving to ensure that doing business in Nigeria is easier than ever. We are focused on improving infrastructural capacity as well as soft infrastructure such as policies and frameworks to ensure accountability and to create a culture of efficient collaboration and synergy among various government agencies and offices. The DG of SMIDA mentioned the creation and the launch of the National Council on MSMEs. And this is one of the initiatives by this government to support even into detail the MSME sector. We respect to regulatory support to stimulate our productive capacity, create more jobs, and rapidly boost our economy. Last week alone, the FEC, the Federal Executive Council, approved the Economic Stabilization Bill, which will make our business environment even friendlier, stimulate investment, and reduce the tax burden on businesses and workers once they are passed into laws in the coming week. Intellectual property protection for ideas and innovation is one of the key policies of this administration. As my sister had earlier mentioned, both of us are co-chairs on the Intellectual Property Committee, and we have actually finalized the IP policy and strategy, and we are ready to launch it in a couple of weeks. I think we chose October 14th for that. And with the IP policy and strategy, which will eventually feed into the IP policy, into the IP law, we are sure now to create that enabling environment for intellectual assets. Beyond policy and regulation, this administration has also sought to address one of the most cardinal challenges faced by most MSMEs, access to finance. Through His Excellency, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's 200 billion intervention presidential loans and grant scheme, we are revitalizing MSMEs and manufacturers. The program is ongoing and currently providing MSMEs with the needed access to finance, thus demonstrating part of it, 50 billion, is grant, and the rest is a single-digit interest rate. This demonstrates this government's commitment to fostering MSME growth. Talking about access to finance, we're about to launch the $10 billion Nigeria Global Investment Fund. This is a wholly equity finance, equity funding that will provide the necessary and the needed capital to stimulate innovation, fund seed capital into budding entrepreneurs and innovators to incubate and accelerate them to become the champions of Nigeria. The President also launched the PCNG, the Presidential CNG Initiative, to reduce cost of power and transportation to make MSMEs more profitable. By reducing the operating cost, MSMEs are sure to become even more profitable. As we know, electricity cost accounts for most of the operating costs of MSMEs. I know some of the speakers here mentioned that challenge, and that challenge is being addressed. And as we seek more investment into the gas sector of the economy, this challenge we are sure to reduce. And to even support the low-cost electricity, the government, this current government, enacted the Electricity Liberalization Act to empower and encourage more investment in electricity generation, transmission, and distribution, empowering state governments to take up the initiative. The electricity distribution used to be on the exclusive list, now currently in the concurrent list. As an input into the Economic Stabilization Bill, the Presidential Council on Tax Reform and Policy Review was formed to create the enabling environment, prefer policies and solutions to curbing the multiple taxation that MSMEs face, and that should feed into the Economic Stabilization Bill. To increase the purchasing power of citizens, the President launched the Consumer Credit Initiative, and this will see that there's the purchasing power of citizens increase, and when the purchasing power increases, what do? They purchase, and what are they buying? They're buying the products and services of MSMEs, hence increasing the capacity of the MSMEs to do much more, and of course, their resilience. One of the other challenges of MSMEs is access to capacity building and training. A number of the agencies under the Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment, one of the agencies leading this conference, SMIDAN, you have the Nigeria Export Promotion Council as well, the ITF Industrial Training Fund, the CAC Corporate Affairs Commission, and the BOI have been offering continuous training and support to ensure that continuous training, support, mentorship, expert advices to MSMEs to ensure that they have the right skills to grow their businesses. And a number of them will be speaking at this event. And so when they come on board, they will also speak about some of the other initiatives and ideas that they bring to support the MSMEs. I know I've seen them in the various panels and across this 3-day period. Let me respond to one of the challenges that was posited by Hakim Bello Osagi, the former chairman, or the chairman of Metis Capital, when he said, try and reduce registration time by at least 50%. Mr. Chairman, and Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it's my singular honor to announce to you that currently CAC now offers a 24-hour registration online. So if you go online, you can register your business today, not even 50% anymore. So we are also leveraging technology to leapfrog our own services. So that services are available, and CAC in particular has been helping to formalize businesses and providing platform for even bulk registration. We've been doing that. We registered recently 3 million businesses via one of those platforms with one of our partners, their MoneyPoint, and other microfinance agencies that brought MSMEs together for registration. In terms of providing the right environment for MSMEs to try digital technology and innovation that will drive rapid economic growth, I must stress that governments, including ours, must be at the forefront of this transformation. Our role is not only to create policies that foster innovation, but to protect it and also ensure that the digital economy is inclusive, equitable, and sustainable. At the heart of a thriving economy lies infrastructure, both physical and digital. The expansion of high-speed internet, 5G networks, and the adoption of cloud technologies will enable businesses, particularly small and medium enterprises, to participate fully in the global digital marketplace. And we are prioritizing that. We will continue to prioritize investment in robust digital infrastructure that connects urban and rural areas, ensuring that no community is left behind. This is about bridging the digital divide and giving every citizen the tools they need to thrive in a digital world. This brings me to access to markets. In addition to the agreements that we've signed, because to create access to market, you first have to have trade agreements with your neighbors and other countries. We signed recently the Enhanced Trade and Investment Partnership with the UK. We've signed the Commercial and Investment Partnership with the US. We're finalizing negotiations with the EU. We are also finalizing negotiations with a number of countries to increase access to market for our MSMEs. These partnerships will encourage more of our MSMEs to export to these countries and vice versa. This also includes investment into the MSME space. And to also participate and ensure that our MSMEs have access to the digital marketplace. We recently secured the support of the WTO World Bank Digital Trade for Africa. This is a joint project where Nigeria will be supported with digital connectivity, infrastructure, digitalization across the public and private sectors in Nigeria, and the development of policies, strategies, and tools to enhance Nigeria's connectivity to the digital world. Amongst many other initiatives, this is putting Nigeria on the forefront of the global economy. We are also currently establishing the protocol for trade in services because we believe that we have more to offer in terms of services. This can enable us to export more of our talent, our creative and digital products, and our services. This is where creative economy comes in. Nigeria is ranking highest now in the export of our creative talent, and we must continue to support them. With the ascension of Nigeria into the African Continental Free Trade Area, Nigeria now, our MSMEs now have access to accessing the African continental markets. This is in addition to the AGOA. We're finalizing the extension of the AGOA. And of course, as you know, we're a member of the ECOWAS Trade Liberalization Scheme. To help us with the AGOA, we launched the GTI Guided Trade Initiative in July, where we started piloting how Nigerian MSMEs can participate in trading with other African countries. Ladies and gentlemen, this gathering, spanning a 3 days from October 3rd to 5th, marks a significant moment in our collective efforts to empower the nano, micro, small, and medium enterprises that are the backbone of our economy. And I must take this opportunity to congratulate our host, Smidan, the DG and his team, all the partners who are here that have helped to put this conference together. I especially want to thank the GIZ, all the speakers, the EU, all the sponsors who are here, everybody who has come together to make this conference a success. I'm really excited about the launch of the Smidan MSME grading platform, which we shall unveil very soon. And that's a platform that will not only de-risk access to finance, but will connect MSMEs to finance, to other partners, and to resources that they need to scale. And this is especially for women-led businesses. This conference will serve as a pivotal platform for dialogue, for knowledge exchange, for collaboration, and for networking. And more importantly, this forum can provide an opportunity for our MSMEs across all sectors of the economy to scale up by securing new investments. And I therefore encourage the financial organizations who are there, our development partners, and our investors who are present to take advantage of today's opportunity to look closely at the innovative potential within this room. You have the opportunity to engage with some of Nigeria's most promising businesses that are not only ready to scale, but are also eager to contribute to the nation's economic development. Your support can help turn great ideas into successful enterprises, thereby strengthening our economy to achieve the $1 trillion target as set by His Excellency, the President. In conclusion, I want to thank the President for his support to making SMEs great, making SMEs the focal point of his administration, for championing investment, for championing trade, for championing industrialization. Without his support, we won't be here. We have a president who is a business and a private sector focused president and doing all he can to support MSMEs. And I think we should give him a round of applause for that. Without his support, we will not be here doing what we are doing. And I also want to thank the SGF for being that support, that pillar of support for us. I want to thank all the participants and the contributors here, the sponsors and the partners for making this event successful. So I want to encourage everyone to actively engage during this conference, to share your experiences, forge new partnerships and relationships, and harness the collective expertise in this room. Together, we can create a thriving ecosystem that not only supports the growth of MSMEs, but also propels Nigeria towards a sustainable and innovation-driven economy. I want to thank you once again for your commitment, for your passion, and your contribution to this vital sector. Let us work together to grow Nigeria. On this note, and on behalf of His Excellency, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, I hereby declare this conference open. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. We appreciate you for what you are doing for Nigeria. Can we appreciate you one more time with a round of applause? Thank you very much. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we are now getting to the point of what I call the presidential flag off. Representing His Excellency, the President of the country, His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, is a man that his friends and all of us who are around him call GSM. He was a governor 2 times. In fact, he is of the 1999 class. He was also a senator, and he's now a minister. He was a minister and now secretary to the government of the Federation. Please join us. I welcome here His Excellency Mr. George Akume.
Please be seated. Well, distinguished audience, as stated by the MC, a very good friend, and the Minister of Trade, I speak here in representative capacity, representing His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, who would have loved to be here, but his son working leave. He has traveled outside the country. Therefore, permit me to proceed with his statement. Members of the National Assembly, my colleagues, the Federal Executive Council, Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Dr. Doris, Minister of Culture and Creative Economy, Barrister Kanatu, the DG, Smeden, Dr. Odi, the representative of the Governor of Katsina State, members of the Diplomatic Corps, heads of agencies, the partners, the sponsors, members of organized private sector. And let me recognize in a special way Dr. Hakeem Bello Osaigid, who gave us a very powerful statement here today. He traveled away from the United States. Let me also recognize Shibtoni Elumelu, who is represented here with the Deputy Managing Director, UBA, Mr. Muiwa, young entrepreneurs, ladies and gentlemen, I am most pleased to welcome you all to the 2024 National MSME Conference. We gather here today under the theme, Grow Nigerian, Sustaining a Digital Innovation-Driven Economy. This theme reflects our collective commitment to building and nurturing a sustainable environment where small medium enterprises, SMEs, can thrive, innovate, and drive Nigeria's economic growth more efficiently through digitalization. A conference like this is of great benefit because it is a great opportunity to interface and dialogue with stakeholders on topical issues affecting the Nigerian economy. I am a leader who listens, processes feedback, and strives to make the Nigerian experience better. So I look forward to hearing from you. I campaign to move the Nigerian economy from the unsustainable model of exporting raw materials and importing processed goods. I remain committed to that purpose and to reducing the costs of production so that Nigerians can enjoy a better quality of life. Among other reasons, Nigerians experience hunger because we have not fully localized production processes and reduce costs effectively. I also realize the importance of innovation and digitalization to this purpose. There is no justice in creating an economy that is not sustainable for the coming generations. Our Constitution frowns upon it. I frown upon it, and morality frowns upon it. As a country, we are still suffering from the effect of trying to shift from a crude-based economy which has left us debt-ridden. Thus, it needs no gainsaying. We need to move the production and wealth generation power of the economy to the people. It is in doing this that we can ensure equal distribution of resources and tap into the industrial potential of Nigeria as a people who are in tune with the natural and human resources that God in His infinite mercies has blessed us with. This is where the MSMEs come in. MSMEs are the backbone of our economy. They account for about 90% of all businesses in our country and contribute nearly half of our GDP. They are the lifeblood of our communities, providing employment to over 60 million Nigerians, many of whom are young people. They are the engines of rural industrialization, poverty alleviation, and sustainable development. When our SMEs prosper, Nigeria prospers. Today's conference is a testament to the progress we have made and the potential that lies ahead. It is a platform for dialogue, collaboration, and action. We are joined by key stakeholders from the public and private sectors, academia, and civil society, all united by a common goal, that is to accelerate the development of the SME ecosystem and promote inclusive economic growth. I appreciate the leadership of Charles Odi, whom I appointed as the DG Osmedan, based on his extensive contributions to the MSME sector, including the design and execution of projects that highlight and facilitate support for small businesses in Nigeria and across the continent. His proof that we can create a government that includes the innovative capability and capacity of the younger generation. And we see this also in the Grow Nigerian strategy. I do not believe our natural resources are a curse. We have to manage them better and be more innovative in modeling our economy, something which my administration is committed to doing and which I am happy that Mr. Odi is fully engaged in. This is why I approve schemes such as the flag off of the Conditional Grant Scheme, CGS, the launch of the National Council on MSMEs, which is ably led by the Vice President, His Excellency Senator Kashim Shettima, and the expanded national MSME clinics. I have also supported the effort by Mr. Odi to reform and organize the agency for greater efficiency and impact through dedicated units and special initiatives, such as the counterpart funding arrangement through which the agency has now mobilized over 9 billion naira in affordable finance to the sector. All these ideas and lofty achievements do not emerge out of a vacuum, but from dialogues, critical stakeholders, such as yourselves. I hope that through this conference, we can meet minds and focus not only on domestic growth, but also cutting global investments in our SMEs. We have a large market with immense potential. With ongoing reforms to the Central Bank of Nigeria aimed at stabilizing the foreign exchange market and reaffirming our commitment to protecting investments, Nigeria is open for business. We are very business friendly and always listen to feedback on how to improve the ease of doing business in Nigeria. I invite investors to seize the opportunities that lie within our SME sector. You have nothing to fear. Your investments are safe, and our SMEs are a sure bet for growth. We must get it right in this sector of the economy. We must ensure that all MDAs, so the federal government, as well as stakeholders, are better aligned and their efforts harmonized. Our SMEs are the key to unlocking Nigeria's economic potential. They are the reason why we can aspire to produce Nigerian and convince the world to consume Nigerian, not out of pity, but because our products can rival any in the global market. I see a great advantage for us in taking a bottom-up approach in Nigerian production. If we can accomplish this at this level, we will maximize profits for the MSMEs and reduce scarcity for the consumers. Indeed, we can also influence the larger companies to grow Nigeria. This is why we must succeed. There is no room for failure, no margin for error. We must do all this quickly and sustainably. For too long, Nigeria has been an underperforming economy, able to share the great potentials inherent in the possession of such a large population of hardworking citizens. Nigerians are not lazy, no. For too long, the problem has been lack of work. This problem of lack of work persisted because the population expanded and the service providers did not expand proportionately. The steps we take now ought to have been taken long ago. People ought to have been incentivized a long time ago to establish small and medium enterprises, not jump ship and travel abroad. Many of citizens in diaspora have interest in coming back home to set up shop and do business in Nigeria. And they wonder, is it wise for me to do this? Let me announce to you, the time is now. It is a good investment to do this. Nigeria is stabilizing and fast too. Already our destination is in sight, and the focus as an administration is unwavering, despite the sinister efforts of those who feather their nest through corruption and lawlessness to detract us from our goals and to plunge our country into confusion. You can never succeed. As we embark on this journey together, let us remember the success of SMEs, the success of Nigeria. Let us commit to creating an environment where our entrepreneurs can innovate, grow, and lead the way, building a prosperous future for all Nigerians. Let us commit to identifying problems and providing solutions. We in government will help you. We are constitutionally obliged to do so within the law. Thank you, and I wish all of you a productive and inspiring conference. May the peace and blessing of God continue in our great nation. It is my honor to launch this on behalf of Mr. President. Thank you.
Your Excellency, maybe you remain here and let other people join you. Please, all of the people in front, the Honorable Minister, Deputy Governor, please. Please, our development partners that are seated in front, please join us here for a group photograph. After which, the DG will lead us to the exhibition site. Okay, the Honorable Speaker of the House of Representatives, I welcome you here, Right Honorable Tajuddin Abbas, PhD. Please join us up here. That will be your first assignment, to join us in the group photograph. Let's appreciate him. We welcome you. Please clear the way for the Honorable Speaker. DG, please find a place at the middle there. All right, now that the photographs are over, we would like to hear the voice of the speaker. Please to step forward here and say a few things after the photograph before we go for the exhibition. I understand the Right Honorable Speaker will launch the exhibition. I welcome you, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, thank you.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the speaker is on the podium and is about to speak. Can we all settle down, please? Let photographers, please go to the side. All photographers to the side, please. Mr. Speaker is on the lectern. Let us please settle down so that he can give us his goodwill message. Please, all guests to please be seated. All guests be seated, please. Mr. Speaker is on the lectern. Thank you.
Thank you very much. My dear senior brother, our mentor, the Secretary to the Government of Federation, His Excellency George Akume, Right Honorable Ministers present here, the DG, SMEDAN, members of the Diplomatic Corps, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, a very good afternoon to all of you. It is both an honor and a privilege to stand before you today at the 2024 National MSME Conference under the theme, Grow Nigerian, Sustaining a Digital and Innovation-Driven Economy. Over the next few days, we will engage in meaningful discussions, witness innovative exhibitions, and celebrate the organizations that have steadfastly supported our micro, small, and medium enterprises. This conference indeed has united stakeholders in the MSME ecosystem for an honest dialogue which could not have come at a better time. Our nation is currently experiencing the effect of bold reforms that have necessitated more than anything else the need for homegrown alternatives. Small businesses are crucial to this process. They account for over 90% of all businesses and contribute significantly to employment and innovation. According to recent statistics, they provide more than 60% of jobs in Nigeria, underscoring their role as the lifeblood of our economy. As the Speaker of the House of Representatives, I want to assure you that we are unwavering in our commitment to the growth and success of MSMEs in Nigeria. We recognize that the path to a thriving economy is paved with enabling legislation and effective constituency interventions that empower our entrepreneurs. We are dedicated to creating an environment where homegrown successes can flourish, and we are actively pursuing legislative measures that support the digital and innovation-driven initiatives we are just discussing here today. Nigeria stands ready for investments. We want to send a clear message to both local and international investors. There is nothing to fear. Our nation is brimming with talents, creativity, and a youthful workforce eager to embrace innovation. This conference is an opportunity for investors to engage directly with some of the most promising small businesses in our country. Together, let us harness the power of collaboration and turn potential into reality. As we engage in robust discussions over the next few days, let us ensure that our conversations are not only honest, but also forward-looking. The challenges facing the MSME ecosystem are significant, but so are too the opportunities. We must tackle these issues with open minds and a shared vision for a prosperous Nigeria, where every small business has the opportunity to thrive. I would like to take a moment to commend the DG of the Small and Medium Enterprises Development Agency of Nigeria, Mr. Charles Odi, for spearheading this initiative. His vision for the Grow Nigerian initiative, which promises guidance, resources, opportunities, and workforce support is very, very commendable. And this aligns perfectly with our promises to facilitate rapid growth for our small businesses, equipping them with the tools they need to succeed in an increasingly competitive global landscape. As we embark on this journey together, let us celebrate the spirit of entrepreneurship that defines our nation. Together, we can build a robust MSME sector that not only drives our economy, but also empowers our people. Thank you for your commitment in this important cause, and I look forward to fruitful discussions and impactful outcomes over the course of this conference. Let us grow Nigeria together. God bless you all.
And God bless you too, Mr. Speaker. Right Honorable Tajuddin Abbas, PhD. Your Excellency, we say thank you very much for coming, in spite of your busy schedule. And while he's stepping down, and we appreciate him, I'd like to also welcome here Dr. Wale Fasoya, immediate past Director General of SMEDAN. It is on some of the things you built that Mr. Charles Odi is working on. Fidelity Bank Director, SME, Esther Ibekwe, is also representing the Managing Director. We want to thank you. Mr. Charles Odi will be leading them to the exhibition place, and when we come back, we will give some awards to some people, go for lunch, and then commence the plenary session.